Welcome to round 4 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of April 8th. I'm Nicole Erdix, and I'm here with Terry Morrow.
Hello.
And Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
As moms of teens and young adults who've survived those little kid days, yet we're still rethinking the decisions we've made all through our kids' lives and worrying about what's going on right now. Today is Thursday, which means it's time to talk about college. No, just kidding. We really are going to. It's time to give into our obsessing about parenting details, big and small. And yes, we are going to talk about college because that has been everything I see online for the last, it's definitely still a hot topic. And but this time we do have a different angle to it. Because this conversation is about what happens after you apply and after you get accepted.
Yeah.
Or not. Well, no, because we did talk about rejection, didn't we?
Yes. This is the sad underbelly of acceptance.
Oh, this is the sad, undisclosed, it's the dirty little secret of being accepted to college. And that is the bill.
Yes.
How are you going to pay the bill? So colleges, there's just so much buildup and excitement, and the application process is stressful, and then the applications are sent in, and then you sit around and wait forever, and finally, you get into one school out of 10 because that seems to be the norm these days. And you're so excited, and then you have a look at your financial aid package, which is basically what the government and the school expects you to contribute. And if they think that you're, able to buy milk for your family, then you're able to pay full price. And the public universities I just cannot get over what the price tag is in these places. And I know that, we had Josh in university 5 years, he started 5 years ago. He just finished last year. He had some scholarships at offset, and he lived at home for a bit that offset our bill. But my daughter, where she got accepted, she'd have to live away from home. And so her package includes tuition and dorms to the tune of $37,000 a year.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, and very few schools give out merit aid, so it's not like you can even earn scholarships based on your achievement.
Oh my gosh.
So these kids just burn themselves out, for 4 years trying to take, do all these extracurriculars and take these classes, and then, yay, they get accepted into this great school, but then there's this huge price tag and no financial kind of assistance other than the fact that, congratulations, you get to take out a loan. So, and of course, the students can only take out $5,000 of that loan. They can only be responsible for $5,000 of that loan, which is good. You don't want to give your students
saddle them with a lot of debt. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then that means that the parents are left with a lot of debt just before retirement. So
right.
It's just a no-win situation. And let me tell you, community college is becoming more and more appealing as each hour goes by. So that's kind of been our experience this year. And as a result, we're now looking at Canadian universities. She still has the opportunity to go up there. She's a Canadian citizen, so they'll take her as a domestic student, so she'll pay domestic prices, which are a quarter of the price of American schools in Canada. So
that is sobering, after all the talk of how terrible it is that you can't get in, then to find out that getting in isn't such a blessing either.
No.
How can it possibly be worth that much money?
And the same school, I mean, of course, other families have their own challenges.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing financial aid does not take into account is your debt load.
Mm-hmm.
So they do not ask what your monthly payments are.
Really?
They don't care. They just want to know what your income is and what your assets are. And then they don't ask about anything else. So, yeah, there are people, I mean, you can be middle income family and have a lot of debt, as we do, because life happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we don't have that cash flow to save for college.
Yeah.
And yes, there are kids. So, for example, her friend got into the same school, and just given her living situation, her parents make a decent wage, but there are other factors involved. And so she's paying like a quarter of that price for
Wow.
school.
Wow.
So she's excited. She just committed to that school, and Kristen's going like, guess I'm not.
Hi.
So, yeah, so we're scrambling for other options because, yeah, there's no
It's
way.
just
I'm not going to
doable.
fork out $150,000 for a 4-year
That's too bad.
degree.
I mean, I remember, back in my day, which was, ancient times for now, I guess. It would have been 1977. I graduated from high school. The state schools were pretty much the bargain alternative. And then, you maybe wanted to get into one of the private schools, and then you had to have that conversation with your parents about how much it was going to cost. But
talk about private
the UCs and the state schools were not bad at all. I mean, not like I ever saw a bill or looked at the price, so maybe they were, but that seems.
I mean, the state schools, the tuition is okay. It's not the best, but it's the living, it's the accommodation,
right?
The residents. I mean, the state school might be about $6,000, $7,000. No, maybe I think it's 8 or 9.
Yeah.
But then the living expenses are 20.
Right.
So they jack up the price in the housing.
It's awful. And it's not like you're staying at the Ritz.
Exactly.
Well,
You're
some of
sharing
those
a room with
dorms are really fancy because the schools are competing for kids, and there's like an arms race of fancy dorms, I think, in some places.
Well,
that's
not in
stupid,
California.
Then.
It's a seller's market here. I mean, I've told you, hundreds of thousands of kids apply for a couple thousand spots, and so they don't really care. They're going to fill those spots, and the living accommodations. I mean, you've got 3 and 4 kids to a room. It's crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah, it's really. So that's the other side of it.
Yeah.
That's what happens after the whole process, and it's very sobering.
Yeah.
Because you're like, both my husband and I are professionals. We should be able to send our kid to college, but I mean, we also have a mortgage and bills, and so
and more than one kid,
right?
And more than one kid, and that's the other thing too. I mean, if your child is in college, if you have another child in college, you get a little bit of more support, a little bit more financial aid.
Yeah.
But Josh is finished college, and we're still paying a student debt from his college years, but they don't take that into account. So it's like,
they wouldn't consider graduate school if he goes. That wouldn't be considered being in school,
right? Because he's an adult and he's no longer dependent,
right?
So yeah, it's a really, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do. Yeah, and so the private schools just can't even begin to.
Wow. Yeah, those are really, if the public schools are this expensive, I can't even imagine what the private schools are.
And this isn't common. I mean, this is not unique to us. This is something that
no, certainly not.
We're hearing more and more about. That kids are, first of all, having a hard time getting into these top, not even top tier. I mean, like, somewhat semi-decent schools. And then they're getting these hefty bills because financial aid is just so, it's not a holistic approach. So,
yeah. I know. Yet another reason why. I don't know.
Community college works.
Community college, yeah. Community college was nice. I paid it on my credit card.
Yeah.
And it, it was something. I mean, it felt like I am doing something for my kids. I am putting them through school. It had a value. It wasn't free, but it also wasn't, horrible. And actually, we paid more because we didn't go to the community college that was in our county. So we had to pay an out-of-county rate. But even so, it was quite manageable. It was a little bit of a hardship for that time. We definitely was taking money from other things, but it wasn't. It was expensive enough to feel good about, but not so expensive that it was going to be with us for the rest of our lives. So that seems to me to be the right combination. You want it to be meaningful and a commitment. A family commitment. So I don't think it's wrong for it to involve money, but it can't be money that's you're gonna be paying back for the rest of your life.
No, I mean, if we were to take on the tuition from that school plus Josh's student's debt, we'd be paying about $1,500 a month in debt when she's done.
Wow.
So towards debt. So, and that's the reality, folks. I don't mind talking about that part of my life because you need to be warned.
Yeah. Wow.
Like you got to look for other alternatives and be creative. And I mean, there's a very likely chance that Kristen's going to do 2 years of community college.
Well, yeah, I think that's not a bad option. And it should help folks focus in tightly on, is this experience really the right thing for my kid? Or have we just been on this road and this is the destination, but really it's not so right that it's worth that amount of money?
Right.
For some kids it is. For some kids that's what they're, they have a clear vision and it's worth that investment for a payoff later in life. But if it's not, it's not necessarily
the payoff.
What you want to pay for going for 4 years to kind of figure out what you want to do with your life.
What 4-year degree is worth $150,000 in debt, like loans.
Yes.
You couldn't get that same degree elsewhere at something.
That's true.
Right? And people argue, oh, well, the school gives you, provides you networking opportunities. Well, yeah. It's what you make of it, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm very salty right now.
I'll bet. I mean, after going through all that angst to get the acceptance and then realizing, you know what, we can't afford this.
Oh, I feel like we're back to square one.
So, parents, if your kid is about to go through this process, find out the prices first before you get the kids all excited about going to these fancy schools.
And don't get any lofty ideas that you're going to get aid or scholarships. They don't have
bad. Yeah, I mean, there's probably so many kids competing for the scholarships now, too.
Oh, very, very. I mean, the scholarships are minimal, and they are to the top. I mean, you're talking kids with 4.7 and 8 GPAs. I mean,
that even such a thing exists makes me exhausted. Right.
And I just read an article the other day that the amount of, athletic scholarships are minimal, too, so...
Oh, well, it's our Happy Joy Thursday here, y'all. Please go eat something sweet and delicious for us right now. Let's all get that sugar high to get us back on our track. And that's it for today's round 4. Tune in tomorrow when we'll share our roundup of things we've been using or enjoying lately that we think deserve a shout out. Find all our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there, on our Facebook page, or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.